And welcome. If I could play the music to Game of Thrones right now, I would be, but in breach of copyright, I won't be. So rather than a normal jingle, it is me saying welcome to our special episode of GoT. And I just want to say at this point that if you have not watched it right up to the end episode or haven't watched it at all and plan on watching it, please turn off your YouTube right now because I don't want to spoil anything. This is clearly and definitely for people who have watched it and for fans. So welcome. Oh my God. It was such an amazing episode, and I continue to be fascinated like the rest of the world with Game of Thrones. And it's so interesting because it's like, why this obsession? And I really believe we're kind of wanting this old values of kind of being part of a community, and of course with that amazing storyline, how can you go wrong? So today I just wanted to talk about, take the same method through the Mrs. V night shift with the same questions and talk about Game of Thrones. So let's firstly start with, how was the day? Well, let's talk about, it's really how was the show? I don't know about you, but the show was amazing. And let's just have a little look and a recap on what happened, which was the meeting, which my heart was actually quite still when that was happening. I wasn't sure what's going to happen because I've become very fond of the dragons and I didn't want them killed. Then we had Littlefinger's death. I did not see that coming. All the meeting there, that was pretty full on. And of course, the big one was Snow, Jon Snow and Daenerys together. Been a long time coming, but can we just forget about the fact that they're actually related? So that was huge, and OMG, the wall has come down, and that dragon just, it's kind of scary what's going to happen. So that was the day. How was your day today? I'm a little bit upset that the show is finished, of course, for another 18 months. I think they start filming at the end of this year. Anyway, okay, let's talk about the biggest shift. Who of all characters has had the biggest shift? Now, I really think that Jon Snow, because he's gone from bastard to king and rightful heir. Can you believe it? Rightful heir. I even thought that he was another bastard, but it's actually rightful heir. So that's a pretty massive shift. And in fact, we're yet to see that full shift in full flight, which we'll have to wait for another season. Of course, our beautiful Daenerys, her transformation right through from kind of slave girl to incredible strong woman queen. I mean, it is amazing watching these characters. I think, like, for all of us, we're able to empathize more because we've seen the hardships that they've gone through. And even Cersei, she hasn't really changed. She's still a little bit nasty. She's a bit softer because she's pregnant. But it's interesting how we feel for them because we understand their journeys. It's just fascinating, very clever. Now we also have, Daenerys, Ariana, I think is still the same. She's very strange with the faces, but I think she's still ultimately a strong girl. And Bran is now the three-eyed raven, so there's been a bit of shift there for him. And Jaime Lannister has now actually left the building, which is very interesting to see. So he's on a new journey and has had a massive shift. So that is definitely on the shift list. Next one is the best advice. So who is given the best advice? Now, interestingly enough, Maester Aemon, who was on the wall, and he was much loved. He actually died because he was 93. But what happened was he did say something to Jon Snow when Jon Snow was going to desert the Night's Watch. And he said, I will not tell you to stay or go. You must make that choice for yourself and live with it for the rest of your days, as I have. And when Jon struggled to whether to desert it or not with the wise words, he also said, love is the death of duty and duty is the death of love. He said that in some same conversation with Jon, pointing out the conflict of interest when the Night Watch oath aims to eliminate by forbidding the men to have wives or children. And he also told him, which was the big one, is kill the boy and let the man be born. That was his words. So we just wanted to honour him, especially I think they felt very warmly towards him on the show, according to my notes. Also, okay, so that seems to be the best advice that I could possibly find. the next one, which is not actually on here, which is all about the best tool. And what is so funny is that we talk about challenges and how to overcome them. And their main challenges was how to kind of get past torture and death. So I think, which is a really interesting one, is bravery. And I feel that tonight wearing my rug on my shoulders. So I think bravery is a big part of the show, and I want to express a little bit of that myself tonight. Physical strength is a very important tool to survive in Gotland. And being honourable, which I think is really interesting with all that kind of torture and chaos and you know, death around things, is the honour is so important, which is what we all love, I believe. And a really strong mind. Obviously you need a very strong mind to get through such experiences. And like our own lives here, it's only through these incredible, difficult, challenging experiences that you learn and grow and become really strong. So it's very much depicted in here. Then we have, so let's pause. Of course, for me about the animals, I think who wins hands down here is the dragons, especially in honour of one of them that actually died and has come back as a White Walker, which is very distressing in the future. So that's who I'd like to nominate for our paws, our animal. Then we have GoT made. Now, I think the biggest one, which I loved, was actually around the attire, which was there's a show that shows the behind the scenes, and the prop master actually gets all the rugs and the costumes from IKEA in Sweden. So this is actually from Matt Blatt, not IKEA, but I would like to say that this is what I'm nominating as GoT's favourite piece of product that they're putting out there. Then, of course, the nightcap, very important part. Apart from poison, I think a key part of the nightcap would be the red wine. I won't be pouring any tonight because I'm not drinking at the moment, but I will be having water, so cheers to that. Yes, need a bit of water. And then finally, let's pull a card for all the Game of Thrones fans and what we kind of feel that we need to learn, because I think there is a little bit of withdrawal that happens for the fans that watch it. I know for me, it's such, I just love the experience and the getting away from it. And I think people often experience that with TV shows, which is so fascinating. So let's pull a little card and see that's going to help us have a great day and celebrate this incredible show, and that's brought a lot of people together all over the world. Massive, 12.2 million watchers last night. How amazing is that? And that's not even counting people who streamed it. Okay, let's look. Oh, I'm interesting because, now that's interesting, because for me, that's interesting because life is interesting. And I think sometimes when we watch shows like that, we feel like all the great things happen outside of ourselves. And I think this is to remind us that, in fact, our lives are interesting as well. And we shouldn't forget that. And I think that's why we're also attracted to watching shows like that, because humans are, you know, do have drama, and they do have the ability to create incredible dreams and bring that to life. So for you, if you're feeling kind of bored and kind of your life is nothing after Game of Thrones, like that post period, just remember that this is just a reminder to go, that's why we love those shows, is because as humans we are interesting, and don't forget that. So I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Cheers. We'll be waiting for the next season, and tomorrow night we're with the beautiful Tiffany Harrington at her home and interviewing her about her shifts. So have a great day tomorrow and a great night's sleep, and goodbye from our GoT series. Bye.